It's Parent-Teacher Conference Week on the Vox Cascadia podcast, so I hope you turned in your homework, Connor.
You know what the worst part is, Chuck? I actually have fucking homework this week, too.
What's your homework for?
Not only did Nurgle and the Plague Marines get me sick as shit this week, I now have to wake up at a real adult time of like 5 a.m. throughout the week for some bullshit training I gotta do. And that came with homework. So it's just not my week, man.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I know we chatted about Nurgle last week, and apparently it infested you. And I think Tyler, you said it infested you too, right?
I got it real light, just kind of, like that tinge. But my faith in the Emperor is strong. My denial of chaos also there. So I did excellent overall. Just recovered quickly.
Well, that's good. So, and since it is Parent-Teacher Conference Week, we have Branden Bean on, Connor's dad. Branden, thanks for joining us 3 times on Vox Cascadia now.
Thanks, Chuck. Happy to be back on. Always love to talk about this game. It's tons of fun.
Yeah, and you're doing like the world tour this week, because I was listening to you on Just Another Kill Team podcast this morning.
Yeah, they were nice enough to have me on. I wanted to talk about Blooded in the current state of things, and we recorded it just before the groups got announced for Worlds, and nailed it. Like, I have quite the death group to fight through.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about Worlds. I want to talk about the Blooded, but let's catch up with the crew first. So, Connor, besides dealing with Nurgle's rot, what you been working on? Any hobby stuff, or just been sick and letting Sierra take care of you?
Pretty much just the second thing. I don't think I've been this sick in multiple years. It has wiped me out, which has not been too fun because I wanted to do a bunch of fun hobby stuff this weekend, and then I decided to start dying.
Tyler, you been feeling any hobby stuff? I know you were working on the train last week. You been doing anything besides that?
I think you guys saw, there's some of you did, my terrain with the orange on it. And so that was just the first step. It's actually going to go up to a rusty metallic. I just wanted it to be really rusty. So I've been getting some browns in there, kind of getting that darker tones so I can build up to those metallics and get that really weathered look I love.
Well, it's looking really good. Like I said, I think I said last week that it looked like by just touching it, you would get something. So it's going good. I've been working on the Malignant Plague Caster to finish out my Plague Marines kill team, the Japanese version, because that's where it came from first until years later when it actually like came to the US. So I get the OG original one. No matter
you got the Japanese one?
I do actually. So yeah. It's I'm trying, well, let's see. Make a joke about, I don't know, yen. The command points are in yen. I don't know. Anyways, Branden, what do you been working on in the hobby? You've been working on any other teams? I know you've been playing some Warp Gov, and you played some Plague Marines recently too, haven't you?
Yeah, I had actually come across a box of 7 out of 8 for the Plague Marines previously, and doubled up on the Warrior. So I just missed out on the leader. So I just localized a Plague Marine for $5 and cut his weapons off and put him back on again with the right loadout and called him my aspiring champion. So I painted him up, and quick shout out to a local up here who doesn't do YouTube anymore nearly as much, but every once in a while. One Last Blade is a guy up here, very local to me, and he loves Grey Knights, and I initially painted my Death Guard to troll him as hard as I can. And so they're all painted in his Grey Knights recipe that he has on YouTube.
I saw you posted in the Discord. I think actually it was in your Discord. I think was the pictures where they're kind of silver and with the gold trim, and I wondered where that scheme came from. But they look really cool. So now we know where you're just you're trolling One Last Blade.
Yeah, it's the Leadbelcher primer, and then you give it a wash of like Drakenhof Nightshade all around it to give it like this blue hue to it, and then pretty much just dry brush your favorite metal on top of it. And that's the basis for the metal on that, and it looks really, really good. They shine where they're supposed to shine. It pops really well. I love it.
Well, Connor, while you're banging around over there, why don't you make a note of getting a picture of that for the Discord or for the Instagram?
I was writing it down on my notepad. My memory is going to be even worse than normal, so that's what I was pulling out.
That's literally what I heard scratching.
Well,
I thought
that's
my mic was muted though. My
it was
bad.
not. It was not, but that's okay. It's all flavor and context for the world that we live in, and coming to you from
Yeah.
our different areas, and yeah. So,
And if this is my
um,
last time on the podcast because Nurgle finally takes me out, it's been a pleasure, lads.
I know you don't drink, but you actually like sound almost mildly drunk right now.
I have been doing a lot of the pills, the cold
Cough
medicine
medicine.
stuff.
Vicodin.
What's
Go.
what's your cold medicine of choice, everyone?
It's just the not Safeway, Winco bargain stuff. Just
I mean,
the off-brand shit.
I chug some NyQuil before I go to bed and have some weird fucking dreams whenever I feel sick.
Oh
That's
man,
what I might try tonight.
I'm a triple C's guy. Coruscant, cough and cold. High blood pressure plus. Like that's the good stuff right there.
I mean, do you have high blood pressure, or is this just
No,
like
no, but
a fun side effect? Is that you can make your blood pressure really low?
no. It's just like safe for people with high blood pressure. But like that's the good cough medicine.
That's probably what I should be doing because I do have high blood pressure, and I just when I feel sick, I just get a bottle of Dayquil and or Nyquil or one of each, and I just drink it like it's water as I walk through the day of whatever I got to handle.
Yeah, I go Deadpool at work, and then I go NyQuil at home. Right, especially like I said, right before bed, a couple shots of that, and you're gonna be in the warp with your dreams.
There's this wonderful band called Weed Eater. They sound like you would expect them to. And the guy in it, Dixie Dave, he also fronts Bongzilla, another classic band in the genre. But anyways, he's known for taping a bottle of cough syrup to his amplifiers and swigging from it as he performs. There's this old interview of him reviewing his favorite cough syrups on YouTube.
I love Tyler's always got the deep cuts of stuff that I like. He could 100% be just lying about what it is and just made that up on the spot, and I would have no way of knowing if he wasn't or not. And actually, if you could just in the future just make up like a band name and something like that, because that sounds 100% made up, but I'm sure it's real,
Mhm.
and I wouldn't know the difference.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Here, I'll add a little bit of lore to Dixie Dave. He's an incredible musician, but he recently shot off his large toe on one of his feet with a shotgun.
Like in a concert or just like at home?
At home.
Okay.
At home, hanging out, probably drinking cough syrup. So,
All right. Cool. So this is a Kill Team podcast, and we have a guest, and so Branden, me and Connor and Tyler have talked about our adventures in third edition, and since you're going to Worlds, I'm sure you're much deeper into third edition. So I just kind of want to give you some time, give you the floor to tell us your thoughts on third edition so far leading into Worlds.
I have thoughts. It's quite the mess right now. I was part of a slight conversation earlier today on a Discord, and someone was saying that the meta is better than it's ever been because of different things that they see in the numbers, and they're sort of just taking the raw numbers of like how many different factions there are going to Worlds this year compared to other times. There were less teams in the game then, so like the number of different teams going is not really comparable. And like it's such a different. The entire game has changed all the way upside down. So trying to compare it to last year is really difficult. Just on like the state of the meta of it, and I have some hot takes about the meta. Not so hot now that this is the second podcast I've been on for it. But
Thanks for giving us your recycled stuff. Come on.
Exactly. You're welcome.
we're gonna need a new take on the spot, please.
A new take on the spot. Higher Tech Circle deserves to be an S tier more than Legionnaires.
Whoa. Okay, that's a
yeah.
hot take. All right.
So
I believe it though.
here's the hot take about it: is that there's going to be a lot of Legionnaires players out there, and I don't want to discredit anyone that earned a ticket to Worlds, but there's no one's really had a chance to get that many games in. And I know Joshua Kelly and the Kellys are putting in a ton of games in down there. They're doing Legionnaire on Legionnaire mirror matches. and they're doing all sorts of practice with it. And I know that, and I know there are people doing that, but there's only so much practice you can get with that team. And I think that a lot of people aren't really realizing how much they're leaning on the raw stats and power in those teams compared to like knowing the tricks that you have to work around. And I don't know, it just feels like the higher tech circle is definitely the harder team to play, but I think that they just have a broader spectrum of like surprise gameplay against people. And that's something that kept Novitiates in the A tier so long last season, is that the defenders of the faith in just one or two tricks and you get caught out, and that's how Novitiates were keeping themselves in the A tier over a lot of teams that were just like bullies in the meta. And that's the same concept, is that like the you can't really rely on the hard stats of it, especially when you're the most popular thing in the game. This is like when Intercession came out. If you don't have a plan against Legionnaires, if you don't have a plan against Warp Coven, you don't have a plan at all. Which means if you are one of those teams, which is 40 people out of these 93 people, someone's going to have a plan against you. Even if they're bringing Kroot, shout out to Orion for Kroot. And as much as I think that Kroot are in a rough spot, into elites where with a team that can steal objectives away, in a lot of the formats, you can only score one objective once in that turn. And if you do that 2 or 3 times, delay them out, and you suddenly win. I think Kroot are deceptively better if you just can put those the work into those. And I think that higher tech have more tools compared to just relying on the raw stats of Legionnaires.
So you mentioned Orion's bringing Kroot. Do you think he's like found some secret sauce, or do you think it's kind of a meme? Or because actually there's like 3 players bringing Kroot to Worlds too.
I don't know, honestly. Orion is an extremely skilled player, and if you've not seen someone of his caliber play, it's very evident. He knows this game better than most people do, just flat out. And if he's found some secret sauce there, I wouldn't be surprised. It's probably a mix where he's like meant it as a meme, and then he's like, well, I have these, I want to bring them. And Orion's just that skilled of a player that you have to watch out for him.
Yeah, I was surprised when I saw that Orion is bringing Farstalker, and then also that 3 people are bringing Farstalker. So it's like you mentioned, there's a lot of people bringing just a few teams. So just kind of look at the numbers real quick. It looks like we've got 11 Inquisitorial Agents. Mm-hmm. Looks like 15 Legionaries, about 14 Warp Coven, and then the next highest is actually
Higher Tech Circle.
Higher Tech at 6, and then Blooded at 5. So
Blooded, Plague Marines, and I think Phobos all have 5.
I'm really interested about the Plague Marines, because I mean they've been out for like 2 weeks, and I actually played a game with them myself, and they felt really good. They don't feel like they're oppressive like Legionaries tend to feel for a lot of people, or at least that's the what people think about them right now. But I mean, obviously you're bringing Blooded, so, and I listened to most of the Just Another Kill Team podcast this morning. So if anybody wants to hear the like deep dive into Blooded, that's over there. But tell us just a little bit. I know Blooded's been your team, but what was the thing how do you feel about them? Just a brief overview of them in 3rd edition right now.
In 3rd edition, I think that they're going to get gatekept by equal skilled players with the S tier teams. If we broke down and added a couple teams up into high A tier, we start talking about teams like Novitiates. I consider Higher Tech Circle as part of the top in the S class. So if we're just talking A tier, right now you're talking Plague Marines, you're talking Novitiates, you're talking Angels of Death for the general part, and you're talking a couple other teams that do have tools, but don't quite have the shutdown power that Inquisitorial Agents, Legionnaires, and Warp Coven have. I think the Blooded are really positioned in a spot that once the data slate hits, they're going to be up there with the top dogs, because everyone else outside of those 4 that everyone's sort of struggling to find any sort of ground with, I don't think they have a problem with anyone else in the meta, period, which I know is a common thing for a lot of teams. They only have problems with the top 4 teams. But even into other A-class teams, Blooded have tools into them. And the fact that both Novitiates and Blooded have win paths into the S class, I think says a lot about the strength of those teams in the meta right now.
Can you give us just a little bit about Blooded as well too? Again, you went over the entire team top to bottom, but I know that they've changed quite a bit, at least like because last edition you only had one archetype. You also basically used CP reroll for everything. How do you feel about the new having an extra archetype and also having some strat ploys and whatever tac ops or tac ploys or whatever they are now that you can flex into?
It's sort of interesting having some of those strategic ploys because they unlock something that Blooded didn't really have before, which was combos. The combinations in Blooded are sort of unique in the way they function, and they're definitely different from second edition by far. The Enforcer has some of these plays circled around him, and before he did as well, but now he can force people that have not activated do their thing. So they can move 2 inches outside of activation and then do their move dash to do the play. So there's a lot of unique things that you can do with the Enforcer and the strategic plays now. Blooded used to be known for CP reroll. That's how they rerolled. And now we have Relentless and Spades. It's definitely a good time to be a Blooded player.
Now, do you see yourself staying on them after Worlds, or do you think this is going to be kind of the last hurrah?
I've been coming to terms with Blooded, the fact that Blooded are on their way to be declassified. I am holding out hope that they'll be able to go to Worlds next year. I don't know if that's the case, and this is sort of the ambiguity of GW's 1 year left that they announced. Is that at the start of the edition is when the 1 year starts, or is it after Worlds, or where does that date fall? Because if I'm going to play a whole season with Blooded, and then not be able to take them to Worlds, that's going to feel really weird.
Connor, do you feel a little better that you've already written off the Hunter Clade right at the beginning? You don't have to worry about them being kind of good like Branden does?
Yeah, like even if I was going to Worlds, I'd still probably be rocking them. It'd be a rough time, but I'd be there. But now I'm being dumb and getting invested in either doing like Phobos or hell, maybe Blooded. So, I'm still on the stupid path myself.
Yeah, those don't seem like wise investments. Fun investments for sure, and models are forever. But yeah, that's going to be rough in the year if you fall in love with one of those teams.
So interesting enough, Sawyer, shout out to Sawyer, went to Worlds last year, met him, great guy. Brought Compendium Demons to Worlds last year, and ended with a positive win rate. I think he went 4-3-1 or something close to that. Sawyer is bringing Hunter Clade, and he is not a player to bring something that is dog water, for lack of a better term. He's. I'm sure there is something in that team that he sees is a win path into what's out there.
Oh, and, yeah. Sawyer is a good friend, I guess I'd say. Me and him have talked Hunter Clade many a times, and I'm glad he's bringing him because he's definitely someone that me was pretty excited for him. And the strategy that we've decided is like best case for Hunter Clade right now is kind of why I just don't like it. It's a lot of just Ranger gun line, which as someone who likes to charge forward, slamming W and stab you with a Rust Stalker, that's kind of why my interest in them dropped. But I can't deny that Ranger gun line doesn't have play or anything like that. So I'm very excited and hopeful that he wins it all. If you win it all, he gets second place.
Well, Connor, the two teams you're talking about actually like flexing into are teams that may not even be there for Worlds next year. So is there a team that you maybe want to play that actually might be a Worlds? I know you mentioned Hand of the Archon.
Yeah, realistically, more likely Hand of the Archon or Herotech Circle. But I've had the Phobos kit for a while, and I still think Phobos thematically are the most kill teamy of any kill team. So I want to get a couple of games on them with them before they're gone for good or whatever ends up happening after a year.
Well, I told you can try out mine at the Christmas event. I know Tyler was poo-pooing like using someone else's kill team, but I also remember that he used somebody's orc kill team at the tag team event this year. So
That is true. That is true. You caught me there.
yeah, I'm like an elephant. I never forget unless it's important.
Nailed it.
So let's talk a little more about worlds. Like anything. So Brandon, you're kind of on the in the inner circle of worlds, obviously, since you're going for the second consecutive year. Is there any big surprises that you're seeing out of world so far, or like, or from the team picks, or I mean, besides like Groot and Hunterglade?
Honestly, no. I could have seen anything show up. There's a couple minor surprises that are just like novitiates only having one representative. That's much lower than I thought was going to happen.
Way lower.
Um, Higher Tech Circle actually being only at 6 is also a little surprising. Um, I expected them to be a little bit higher than that. Uh, so, and then you always have like a diehard fan of whatever the team is. Like I'm definitely a diehard Blooded fan, and even if there weren't 4 other people bringing them, I still would be bringing Blooded because that's my team. Um, and so you're always gonna have players like that, right? And then you're gonna have a couple people that are there like to do the meme thing, like get best in faction with Hearthkin Salvages last year type thing. Um, Shout out to Kenny Roller Crit because that's what he did last year.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the only person that takes them, then you're going to win. So we've already got one person that's going to be best in faction with Angels of Death, Blades of Cain, Brood Brothers, Star Striders, Exaction, Hand of the Archon, Hunterglade, Breachers, Nemesis Claw Novitiates, Aquilons, Vet Guard, that's Dakota, and Wormblade. So congratulations, you've already won best in faction with those. So
yeah, Blades of Cain player is actually Robert. Shout out to Kill Team. Robert was one of my partners down at AVTT. He was the Compendium Eldar player. And for those of you that think that, he got carried, flat out no. He also went positive win rate with our team as well to make sure that we got our tickets to go to Worlds. So Robert is a very capable player and actually really smart. I don't know how much he practices, so we'll see how that goes for him. But he's someone that I would not feel comfortable just winging it into.
Like Robert is the best Compendium Craft World player in the world, right? Like
Yeah.
that, Robert? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, he's so cool. We've been friends for a long time. So,
well, I mean, not that I'm rooting against him, but Dakota's got to hope that he doesn't do good, because if he takes Blades of Cain, they're never going to get their 3-up save on the Strike of Scorpions if he does good with them.
Yeah, funny enough, one of the teams that is in that A tier that people were worried about that is not getting represented at all, to everyone's shock, is Felgor. Felgor are another one of those teams that are going to be a problem when people forget that Elites just sort of wreck the house with them. It's quite an issue. The same as like novitiates, and I think the biggest difference that give novitiates and Felgor the tier over Blooded, like they're just slightly better than Blooded overall, is that people are not seeing their strength played at a high level because of the elites.
Do you think that? So you think that elites just kind of gatekeep the Felgor right now? I mean, I've heard a lot of people say basically that once elites get nerfed a little bit, that Felgor are just going to demolish everyone again.
Yeah, the thing is, it's what it really is that counteract you can do on conceal and fight Felgor. Before you'd be safe from the shooting, which is still true. If you charge and pass, you're going to be safe from the shooting. But then they're going to counteract and they're going to frenzy your goat. And then they're going to activate and your goat's going to do one hit and die. And that's all it did. And that's not enough. That's like, and then if you lose initiative, that guy's going to frenzy 2 more goats or however many goats are in combat, or break out of combat, charge and frenzy another goat, because that's how strong the elites are right now. Even Angels of Death can definitely reliably do that in combat.
So do you think that's where an area where they need to tune elites a little bit is the counteract piece? Maybe so on conceal they can only do specific things and not everything?
I think that's part of it. And honestly, there's like the moderate take at this rate, honestly, is that I don't think you should be able to counteract on guard, because that means there's no, like on Into the Dark, that means there's no function in between. It just delays it until in between actions. So like you have to be able to shut it down as it happens, or you just eat it. There's literally just no counterplay to counteracting on guard. I don't know. It just that alone feels like crazy that needs to get reduced. The only other consideration for counteract is to possibly reduce the, say that you cannot fight while concealed as part of a counteract. It would be specific to that, so that Marines that are actually hiding from combat don't just flat out kill whoever's in combat with them. In the meantime, they're supposed to be hiding, not engaged.
I kind of forgot that Into the Dark existed, partially because Tyler's brainwashed me to not like it, but also because I've just been so deep into painting like 3 sets of Vulcus. So, do you feel like what do you think about Vulcus? How do you feel? There's a lot of heavy cover on there. Do you feel like it's just overall, and then also how do the blooded do on Vulcus?
Vulcus is beautiful. Functionality is fine. There's so many rules to Vulcus. If you think Into the Dark is complicated, you need to just try keep playing Vulcus, because there's 30 different idiosyncrasies that are just tiny and almost unintuitive, but then it does function. But you have to understand all of them to like really understand the board state, and that is like, it hurts my brain every time I walk up to a Vulcus table. Between that, like that's my biggest gripe about it, is that it's not just like, oh, this is cover, this is heavy, this is light. That was the whole list of Octarius. This is cover, this is heavy, this is light. Scramble. That was the most complicated thing on that board. And the interactions where the stronghold doors don't count for control range, so you can charge to them and fight someone, and then hatchway fight someone through the door, but the normal ruined doorways do block line of sight for control range, but you can still move dash to them and then hatchway fight, because you can still hatchway fight any access point. How you can't shoot through this window unless you're within an inch of it because rules say so. Like, just close the window. Like, one of the two. You're making this very niche case thing that you have to apply only on Vulcus. And there's so many of these little niche things that only apply to like 2 or 3 spots on Vulcus. That's so specific. It's very frustrating sometimes.
It does have a lot of weird interactions, like having the inside. Well, because inside the strongholds, it's you got lethal 5, and with blast and stuff, but also then you have vantage on the little crates and stuff. So, why did they make that vantage? Do you know?
I don't know. The theory that makes sense to my head is that you only get the lethal 5 against you if you're on the floor. I don't know if that counts as on the floor, because it's insignificant, exposed, and vantage. Because you're on vantage, you can ignore the entire structure for. Oh no, because it's not connected. So I have no idea.
Yeah, that always struck me as weird, because if you're on it, you're on vantage, but you're also not 2 inches higher than anybody who's on the floor. So I was trying to figure out why they gave it that keyword. Tyler, you got any idea?
I have no clue. I think it's maybe so you can move on it.
Comment below why it says all of the keywords that it has, because it's not just vantage. It's vantage, exposed, insignificant. And you're like, okay, well, why? If it's insignificant, why does it need any other keyword, period? Like, you don't care about it, you move through it. Big deal. Go. I don't understand why it's there, and that's... Someone comment below in all the doobly-doob, wherever you find this podcast.
And honestly, they're just weird, because like they should just be part of the structure, because they always go in the same spot on the maps. If you're using the official GW maps, which I think everyone is at this point.
Yeah, I think they're just modeled separately for the sake of like the plastic cast, right? That'd be pretty hard to like attach. No, that wouldn't be that hard to attach. You just slide it in there.
Yeah, it'd be pretty. I guess you could have glued it in there, but it's a weird piece. Connor, what's your weird medicated take on why those are vantage?
So that way you can shoot over the opposite side of the building if someone's taking cover behind it.
What was that first one? What was that again?
So, like, say
it's insignificant.
Oh, you're right. Damn it. Wait. Because they're going to introduce more pieces, and eventually Kill Team is just going to be replaced by Jenga. There you go, Chuck.
All right, I like it. Perfect. Thank you.
I'm glad I could help.
All right, go back to sleep, buddy.
No, I got to finish the episode for the people.
For the people, do it for the people, brother.
Exactly.
So, a little bit more about Worlds. So, any other, like, you have any other thoughts going into it? I mean, so let's talk about your group of death. So the pairings came out for Worlds. Can you tell us a little bit about how the groups work and who's in your group and what are you most worried about and who are you going to demolish? Call it right now.
We'll see. I don't have anything as far as my group goes. I don't have confidence to just say I'm just going to demolish anyone. In theory, and purely theory, my best matchup's my mirror matchup. Because at least I know it's a 50% win rate. So like, I don't know. It feels really weird going into that. And the group, for those of you not knowing, that I'm in is Group 2, which has 3 Legionnaire players, 3 Warp Coven players, 2 Phobos players, 2 Heretic Circle players, and 2 another Blooded player besides myself. And this lineup is quite interesting.
Isn't Ben Campbell in your group? Didn't I see?
Yeah, Ben from Battle Brothers. Ben is in my group playing Legionnaires. A slight benefit to being American, I guess. All the Legionnaire players in the group are from USA, so I should not face them round 1. That doesn't mean I won't face a hard team because, for example, Ace is also in my group. For those of you who don't know, Ace is always top of the ITC rankings, top 5 every single time I've opened that thing. He's a very good player, and he's bringing Warp Coven, which is a very hard team to play against as Blooded. So we'll see how it goes.
So just looking at your group, looks like you have Alejandro from Mexico on Phobos. You have Ben Campbell from Florida on Legionary. You have yourself. Dylan Went from America on Legionary. Emily's in your group too on Legionary, local here. You have, like you said, Ace on Warp Coven, Franco Real from Argentina on Hieratech, Guy Barton from England on Hieratech. Your mirror match is Sam Clark from Australia on Blooded. Sebastian Jaime from Chile on Warp Coven, Phobos with Tom Catchisides in England, and then Vivek Ramesh from Canada on Warp Coven. And I think we met Vivek at LVO, didn't we?
LVO.
Tyler?
Yeah, LVO.
He took second overall.
Second at the currently largest kill team tournament ever. Second place. Yeah, so he's definitely a good player.
So that's a pretty nasty group since you essentially have all elite teams and the 2 blooded teams.
Yeah.
So you got most of the elite meta in your group. That's good.
Straight killers, no fillers.
Yeah. It's going to be a good time. Like I said, Blooded have tools. None of these matchups are great. Phobos are probably the preferred matchup. And I say that questioningly only because I haven't really seen what they can do. I have read them. I've read over them. I've seen a couple local players play games as them, but I really don't know where the where the power comes from in that team. And I'm sure there's a flexibility there that I have not seen. And so, as much as I am dreading the Heretic Circle games, as I feel those are the strongest counter matchups to Blooded right now, the Phobos make me nervous because I just am ill-informed.
Well, you talked to Jason on Just Another Kill Team. That's who he's bringing. He give you any Phobos tips?
Not really. We were talking about Blooded a lot, and I know that Jason's really wanting to do the all engage, fight, shoot, and just escalate the game. And there's not that many teams that can do the high tempo. Hey, it's turn 2, I guess. Like all the way through, but without running out of steam. And the game is quite killy. With Phobos, I think he's playing a playstyle too that stays true to what he was doing before. Um, I don't know, like I said, I don't know where I see them on paper, and when I can see a team on paper, I can, for the most part, at least get a gist and feel of like where their power is. Like Heretic Circle, as much as I like felt I understood the power, how it gets implemented in the board is something I had to like experience firsthand to really understand like how those things combo together to a very frustrating situation for my team. Um, but Phobos, I don't see where the frustration is for my team there. And it just makes me nervous more than anything because they are a commonly brought team to this event. I think there's 5 Phobos players, which is definitely enough to warrant like having a plan into that team.
You mentioned like the playstyle of Heretic and a little bit of Phobos there, how you need to get comfortable with their playstyle. I know you often described the previous one for Blooded or previous edition as this a slam W and like very aggressive but cautiously aggressive. Do you still think that's relatively the same?
Yeah, it is a measured aggression, is the way I call it, and I think that Blooded definitely need to play to the measured aggression. I think that there are aspects of the game that are not great for Blooded in the sense because they don't quite want to go all gas turn 2. Um, but that is just the personal feel of it. They can definitely still go toe to toe and put out damage. They'd still pass most DPS tests. Um, they're just not quite. They're definitely not known for their sturdiness, and the top of the meta is extremely rugged.
So compared to second edition Blooded, which one do you like better? Do you like how they've evolved, or do you miss your old Blooded?
I love how Blooded play right now. It's a little bit more unique, a little bit more comboed, and requires quite a bit more actual thinking. Their tools got expanded to cover more bases and increase in strength in every sense except for reward earned, in my opinion. Everything else has been modified and changed into a useful format where I'm no longer overcharging las guns or joking about having overcharged las guns. And I have almost completely stopped CP rerolling unless it's like the game on it. So it's been a drastic change and it's been an adjustment overall for the better, I think. And um, I think that if the elite teams, I think if the top 4 got dropped down even a little bit, you're going to see Blooded right in the S tier with them.
Do you have anything that you'd like to see? I mean, we talked about counteract a little bit, but anything specifically from the teams, the kind of like top 4 that you'd like to see to pull them more back in line with other teams?
So one specific interaction that I don't think should be a thing is uh, being able to teleport someone on guard makes sense to my brain. It's fine to an extent. The range at which the Heretic Circle can do it is sort of absurd, but that is fine. Being able to counteract more than one, like being able to on guard more than once with the same model, needs to not be a thing.
So you're saying that essentially someone can go on guard, do a guard action, and then still counteract later?
They can counteract and then go back on guard. Yes.
So basically explain it to me. Explain it for
So
my feeble
on
brain.
if this is Into the Dark, what you can do is you can start your model on engage in an area, and let's say you're a Marine player, so you have six activations, and someone else has 10 activations. You can go into a hallway and go on guard. Well, if you go on guard and someone steps into the hallway, you can shoot them. So you take the shot, you kill the model. Then, if you're out of activations, immediately after killing their model, you get a chance to counteract. And the model that went on guard can counteract, perform a shoot action to go on guard, and go back on guard.
Okay, that's pretty wild. I haven't played on Into the Dark yet in this edition. So, and I haven't actually, that's the first time I've heard of that interaction. So, because yeah,
Picture,
guard is like a 1 CP or 1 AP action.
picture this. There's a Legionnaire player in one of the small square rooms, and he's got a melta gun, and he's on guard. He's no longer hitting on 3. He's no longer overwatching on 4s. So he's going to shoot you on 3s the second you enter that room. Then, if you still have activations, he's going to counteract, go on guard again. So you no longer can go into that room without losing yet another model before you even get in there. Your only chance is to charge and hope that hitting on 4s is enough for you to live through.
Okay, that's that seems pretty broken. I hadn't even considered guard and the counteract. So it's because Tyler never let us play into the dark, and I forget about guard.
I mean, like, clearly you shouldn't be playing Into the Dark with how broken it is.
It's that interaction is really, really messed up. I think you should be limited to on guarding once, and that should count as your counteraction. And it doesn't. It should.
Yeah, it seems like if they. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty disgusting.
I think it's fair and balanced as long as only Hunter Clay can get to do it. We need something.
Well, the good news is that nobody plays Hunter Clade anymore.
Sawyer does, and he's going to do great with them.
Sawyer's going to get dumpstered at Worlds. I'm calling it right now. He's going negative, and he's going to leave his Hunter Clade in Atlanta.
That's quite literally the hottest take I've heard on any podcast I've ever been on. So
I don't think he'd leave them. He's put a lot of effort into kit bashing them. They look great, so that'd be crazy.
Even if he did, like, Sawyer is such a good player. Like, there's not that many people that could have taken Compendium anything to Worlds last year and come out with a positive win rate. There's not that many people. I could not have done that. I know for sure I could not have done that. I think saying that is underestimating Sawyer by far.
I don't think that Chuck's being serious there.
No, I'm just trying to shit on Connor.
Connor just, his love. His Sawyer's an amazing player. Like, just like you said, going positive at Worlds with the Compendium Demons. Wild. Like that's those edge case scenarios, but they win sometimes.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I know that Squad Games is actually going to be there. I'm excited because Squad Games is going to be there, so we don't have to watch the Spanish feed. Because in the last year since Worlds, I have not learned Spanish, so I still can't understand what's going on. I can barely understand what's going on in the English version of Kill Team, but maybe we'll get to see Hunter Clade on the stream, and maybe Brandon, you won't have to get told to shut up and move away like you did last year.
Hey. It was fine. Me and Ace were having a good talk. It was fine. I don't even remember what the talk was about.
We could probably go back to the stream and find out if you wanted to.
Probably. Me and him got pretty excited. We were pretty loud at one point.
So today we're recording this on Tuesday. By the time this comes out, you'll actually be in Atlanta. How have you been preparing besides playing a bunch of games? Anything you've been doing and reading rules for teams you haven't played? Anything else special that you're doing to prepare for Worlds?
Honestly, nothing too out of the normal. I'm trying to relax a little bit. I'm super excited to go. I was just telling someone earlier today, Sean, that I like last year I felt honored to be able to go, and I feel like this year has just really cemented myself as like in that echelon that I can, if as long as I can make more than one event, I can definitely guarantee myself to go and be a representative in this game at that high caliber. So I'm really excited to see what I can do and have a good time and play among a group of friends that I'm only going to get to see like once a year, because it's so hard to fly across the world to see people both in Argentina, Chile. Shout out to Ratman that I'm about to see again, and like play with guys that are just generally good guys. And like as much as people would imagine that you're going to be crunchy, you're going to be sweaty, you're going to be as try hardy as you are going to be at the Worlds, it's really not like that. The higher up you go in the game, the more the game becomes so much more of a game, because you both understand what's going on, and you like it's such a fun instance and such a great time. It's really hard to compare to like big tournaments that I've been to.
I do love that you shout out Ratman. Ratman, for anybody who doesn't know, if you look up the World Championships of Warhammer, Group 7 from Argentina, unblooded, his name is literally, well, in BCP at least, Ratman. Does he have a real name, or is that just the alias?
He might have told me it, and I do not remember it at all. I do remember talking to him for a minute, because him, myself, and the other blooded player last year were talking for quite a while. And I know that he's coming back, and he's like, man, blood is my thing. I have so much fun with the team, and he's such a blast. He's always looking to party. He's a musician, and every time after the show, he's like, all right, what bar are we going to? I'm like, no, dude, I'm going to sleep. He's like, no, what bar? I'm like, no. This is not, sleep is not a bar. I'm going to sleep. And he's like, all right, fine, I'll see you later. Next time you're going to come out with us, we're going to party. I'm like, all right, no way, I'm tired. I'm old.
I mean, I've heard that some of the Kill Team players from other areas go way harder than we do in the US. Like the Spanish players like start tournaments at midnight or some shit.
Yeah, they're not the only ones, but they try to follow suit. So a little bit of a backstory here. I went down to AVCT, which is how I won my golden ticket to go to Worlds this year. Placed up there with Jesse Kelly and played. And when I was flying down to California to go to this tournament, I actually missed my flight and had to rebook for the very next morning. And when I arrived in San Diego, because that's where I flew to, Jimmy picked me up from the airport. And he's like, man, I'm sort of glad that you missed your flight last night, because Baki was in town and Baki wanted to go out. And if I had to go out last night and like, if we all three went out last night and drank like I know Baki wants to drink, I would not be okay right now. And today's going to be a long day already. I'm like, yep, well, cool. So I know some of the West Coasters definitely want to throw some back too. And I remember from the event last year, after the tournament, Travis was over there having a couple drinks too with us. Like everyone's having a good time and looking to see how much of a good time is just depending on which group you're with.
That does sound like a great time. And minus the fact that I'm dying right now, Chuck, when are we going to do a like 18, 24-hour tournament? We'll have to do like a charity drive where people can donate to make certain people play, and we do like a 24-hour live stream tournament or something.
24 hours of Le Mans themed event.
Yeah, I mean, we just got to find it'd be nice if we could do it with the community.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd have to see if we can talk Jeff at Shiv to letting us play at Shiv for like 24 straight hours. If he can keep, I mean, Jeff loves weird stuff like opening at 12:38 on Christmas Day. I showed up there last year. So maybe Jeff will be the one to let us play for 24 hours at Shiv.
That would be pretty cool. We could have people not only donate in for whatever charity we're doing, maybe a Fix Connor's Broken Lungs one, but then like if they really want to compete, they can drive into the store and come challenge us like in person.
Chuck, DM me after this because they do something like that for 40K. Best in Faction does that up here, up in the Pacific Northwest. Colin is the guy that owns the house that goes there and does it. They do it once a year, and they do a big thing, and we could probably do like a side-by-side event with them. They're part of FLG. So like there's an avenue for that charity thing to like be explored.
That'd be pretty sweet. I with the racing theme for this season 4 Kill Team Cascadia, 24-hour Le Mans, or what would we call it, Tyler? Not 24-hour Le Mans, 24-hour of
Race for the Cure, like the Michael Scott one from The Office, something extraordinarily long like that.
Eye of Terror 24 hours.
That's Eye of Terror 24 hours.
We'll see.
Let's see. Yeah. But no, I would love to do some sort of ridiculous event like that, and maybe we can do if we can't figure out a store, we can do a coast weekend and do that sometime where we make everybody stay up or something. So, but yeah, we should do something ridiculous like that.
You know, honestly, that's kind of what I want to get into. I want to get into way more weird events. You know, a couple big events and then some weird stuff. Let's get weird.
Yeah, speaking of that, we need to get a little more organized on our actual events and put some weird ones in there too, Tyler.
Absolutely, 100%. We need to get a little meeting going on here soon. So
yeah, so Branden, any other thoughts on Worlds? Difference from last year. You got 38 players last year or something. They got 93 this year, just barely beating Tacoma.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a bigger crowd. I'm super stoked to meet a bunch of different people from other areas that maybe didn't get a ticket or got more tickets to like Australia or whatever the case is. I wonder if they fixed Jimmy Kelly's country yet. Because last time I checked, it said he's from Canada, which is hilarious. I think the state of the meta this year is not quite as healthy as it was last year. That's sort of a gimme with how new the game is. Nope, still shows Canada for Jimmy Kelly.
Yep,
Sweet.
he's still BBI's flapping head.
So it's going to be a drastic change, and I'm really curious to see how many people are actually taking it, like trying to be competitive and serious with it. It's not that anyone hasn't earned their spot there by any means, but the meta is in such a position that like it is almost a joke at this rate. If you're not playing one of the top fours, the outside opinion is like, are you even playing to win then? And the flat out answer, at least for this tournament, is going to be yes. Any one of these players going to this tournament, even with a joke team, if that's the way you want to see it, is aiming to win. They don't play these games to lose the game. Like I said, Robert bringing Blades of Cain is not a meme pick. That's what he has. It's what he can practice. It's what he's comfortable on. And anyone who thinks that he doesn't have a plan into Warp Coven, that he doesn't have a plan into Legionnaires, that he doesn't have a plan into these top tier teams, he's got a plan. He's going to surprise people, and he's going to put in work. So
anyone who underestimates Robert is crazy. One of the most skilled, technical, just like knowledgeable people in the game out there. He's a secret all-star for it. So if you know, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah, and there's a whole slew of people that are like that. There's so many names here that I'm recognizing a lot of names, and I'm recognizing that some of these names I'm just flat out not going to be able to pronounce. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what it brings, because it's going to bring so many more people. And like last year we had like there was 36 people or whatever the case was, 36 or 34, and that was so much fun. It's like this is going to be almost triple the number of people in a brand new edition. So chaos is going to ensue.
Well, I think chaos is going to ensue because legionaries are going to beat everybody. So now, Worlds is coming up this week. If you're listening to this on the day it launches, Branden will be mid-game already, probably. We wish you the best of luck. But since it is parent-teacher conference week, Branden, as Connor's dad, we need to talk to you about his performance. So far in third edition, he's really been underperforming, and you know he loves his Hunter Clade, and he's talked about Phobos, and he talked about some other ones. But who, if you, as Connor's father, could guide him in a direction where the meta's at right now, and maybe where it's going to adjust to a little bit, who would you like to see Connor play so he can join you at Worlds next year?
It would probably be Novitiates. Connor really likes some jank along with decent fighting, and the jank in Sisters is real jank, and it is very reminiscent of some of their 40k rules to memory, which are old 8th edition, 9th edition rules. Don't quote me on nothing, but just a little bit of jank that like brings a lot of power out of not quite big models.
There's no way they're not getting touched here soon, though. They're crazy right now. Honestly,
I totally agree that they're crazy, but I don't think that Novitiates are going to get nearly as slapped as some of the other teams deserve. They are very much a team right now that there is going to be a skill set of players at Worlds that know how to deal with Novitiates, and a skill set of players that don't. And they're going to be the ones that don't are going to be extremely lucky that there's only one Novitiates player there.
For real. I'm really shocked that there's only one Novitiates player there. But honestly, they're not a team that a lot of people have like ready or practice with. So,
well, now say that season 1 teams are say they're declassified by next Worlds. Who should you start with now that will actually be in next Worlds?
I need the picture. I can't do this off memory. I need the picture.
Give me a second. I can find.
It's a good podcast. It's always a good podcast when Connor's looking stuff up, and yeah. So, but
well, the picture of all the the teams.
Classified
Yeah.
and declassified.
Here we go. Just sent it to you, Brandon, or you pops. And for posterity, here's one that you two can look at as well.
Make sure to post this on the. Put this in your notes to post this on the.
Got it.
The
Oh,
Instagram
your
too.
rude, smart ass comment. I just saw what you said when I was having issues joining in.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Appreciate it, buddy.
All right, so we have going away for anybody who doesn't know. Since this is an audio medium. Leaving after year 1, Commandos, Death Corps, Novitiates, Pathfinders, Legionaries, Corsair, Blooded, Phobos, Void Dancer, Warp Coven, Wormblade, Hunter Clade, Gellerpox, and Elucidian Star Striders will be gone after season 1. So, Brandon, you're going to have to pick from the bottom half. And on the bottom half, you can also add the Ratlings and the Elite Orcs, too.
Yeah, of the list that's available to be classified for longer than 1 year, I think Hand of the Archon would actually be a more natural fit than some of these other teams. Hand have some tools, and you got to manipulate them appropriately because they are a little fragile. But that's not something that Connor's out unfamiliar with. And unique comms and an ability to go full aggression is something that he enjoys as well. So I think Hand of the Archon would be a decent fit.
Also, I like you saying fragile. They got more wounds, baby. 8 wounds. That's a huge breakpoint difference, ignoring Rust Doggers. But yeah, and I think that's fair. I definitely want to try Hand of the Archon. The 2 games I've played of them so far in 3rd were more fun than like the 10 I played at Hunter Clade. So that was pretty depressing.
All right, once you get on it, Connor.
Well, now
I think also the fact that you already have a game set in mind for how you want to convert those models is really beneficial. So I think that would be the next best one.
Yeah, getting your hobby on, actually making something more robot boys with new kinds. That's what I want to see.
Well, it's decided. You've got to play Hand of the Archon now.
All right, I can do that.
Good.
Yeah, I'm half debating because like I want to do, of course, my Skitarii Kit Bash, but I also do like the look of like the helmeted Drukhari, and after playing and seeing with some of them in person more than just looking at the Games Workshop, I was like, ooh, what if I actually learned to paint elves for once?
I think the Hand of the Archon models kind of suck, actually. They're one of my least favorite kill teams. I feel like
Really?
this
isn't because you're biased against the grenade.
No, fuck the grenade, but no, I just think that I think that they're I think they kind of phoned it in. Every one of them is like just a spread leg stance guy. Now, Tyler kit bashed his and they look cooler, but every one of them is just off that base, like Cavalite Warrior or whatever it is body. And I don't think the upgrade kit did enough for him.
That's fair. Looking at when
they're showing their age.
Yeah, the Cavalite Warriors, while still looking good, definitely have just a bit of awkwardness with the posing. It's one of the things I've noticed looking at the new Eldar Ranger sculpts are really, really nice compared to the rest of the other 1990s Eldar stuff. And it's like, damn, when Eldar finally get a new release for like across the board, it's going to be so nice because they have so much better stuff they can do with all these like sculpts for the angles and curves of the elves.
I think you need the upgrade sprue from the Hand of the Archon, and then I don't know, Rangers or Guardians, or even like if you took like Corsairs bodies, Corsairs are way cooler, and then just put a bunch of spikes on them.
Yeah, I think that because they're just an upgrade sprue, it's one of the harder ones that'll be around for a while because there's not that many other ones that are actually just upgrade sprues lasting past 1 year, right? In fact, I don't think there's anything that's just an upgrade sprue.
Yeah, there is. Half of those teams are.
Higher Tech Circle is...
That's an upgrade sprue, technically. Hand of the Archon is. Salvagers is.
Salvagers is also a way newer kit, though.
Fair.
Yeah.
Scout Squad is. Nemesis Claw is.
Scout Squad's brand new.
But technically it is an upgrade sprue, even if it is a new kit.
It is a brand new kit, though.
That's true. That was never mind. Sorry, that was a launch box. Brood Brothers, though. Yeah. That's that. And then
Brood Brothers, but they're off Cadian Bodies, which the Cadian Bodies are newer.
They're not brand new.
Cadian Bodies are like 2 years old.
I guess that is
2-3 years old.
Yeah.
But I mean, okay, I see what you're saying, but I mean, like half
They
of
have the
those are
oldest.
just upgrade sprue teams.
Yeah,
They
but
have the oldest.
the
like,
base
base
the
model.
base body is what
Is old,
screws
yes,
them.
gotcha. I'll agree.
Like
with
even like the oldest base model, even in the first years, is like rubric marines. But because the sorcerers have exalted sorcerers, no one brings just a flat rubric sorcerer to those teams. It's always the exalted
Yeah,
sorcerer kit. So like, I don't know, like
yeah, Drukhari might. Yeah, I think that's true. Drukhari are the oldest kit we have in Kill Team, and then the next would be like what, like Gene Stealer Colts, or I guess probably no, the Gellerpox or the Star Stars are
void
technically the.
dancers. It'd be void dancers because
Oh yeah,
they're
Void Dancers.
and the difference is that the player sculpt is so dynamic. Right, every single model is
Yeah.
doing some sort of weird backflip trifecta before they end up in a nice warm bed. Like they're doing some sort of off the wall nonsense. So they're always a weird sculpt. Wormblade, I guess, also has old sculpts, but like all your focus is on the agents who all have character
Yeah.
models, so you don't.
Plus,
You
the
don't care?
Wormblade ones aren't even that old. They're like 7th edition, like all the 100 Clade ones are, and it's like they're still new enough that they're not too undynamic.
Yeah, the Hand of the Archon kit is struggling a bit.
When did
Although,
Drukhari
like,
come out?
I'm sort of biased because I don't like any of the elf kits. I know this is a very unpopular opinion. I don't like the way Corsairs, like, I know they're fancy. I'm not a fan of Corsairs. I'm not a fan of just clowns as a, like, principle.
Don't let Max hear you.
But even Mandrakes, I'm just like, meh. None of the elf teams do anything for me. If I was to build an elf team, I would probably just die roll a faction on AOS, and that would be my elves.
Wow.
AOS has the far superior sculpts to 40k, unfortunately, because they're all fantastical. Although I feel like 40k is doing a little bit better, especially some of the kills.
So my hot take is I actually don't think that's true for most of them. I don't deny that the monsters and the really cool characters for Age of Sigmar look incredible, but a lot of the base infantry type units in that game are very old as well. And unless they just got a brand new release like Seraphons or Cities of Sigmar, they're just about as old and funky looking as some of the, like, the Eldar 40k stuff.
Or how they re-released
Most of AOS
Rattlings.
has been up.
They've been going
Most
through a very
AOS stuff has been
consistent
updated.
cycle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even Rattlings got
Right.
the clan rats got updated.
Yeah, true. Skaven finally did. I guess it's fair that Skaven finally got one, and they were some of the worst defenders. But I don't know. I just don't think a lot of the sculpts do it for me. But I think that this might be because I'm not really a big fantasy guy. Also found it, the Drukhari
Same.
Kabbalite guys came out in 2010, so I think they are officially the oldest models that you can legally use in Kill Team. Or, like, base models you can use, obviously. We like kit bashing. That's fucking sick. Do your kit bashing.
Dire Avengers probably came out around that time also.
No, they have a
God
newer
damn it, this
kit.
is only Dark Eldar. Oh,
Because Dire Avengers used to come in 10s,
Yeah.
and now they come in 5s.
well, the kit is the same kit, apparently. It's just they reduced it because fuck you. That explains why the Incubi looks sick as hell, too, because they came out in 2019 and they're like the best looking Drukhari models.
Yeah, I think Hand of the Archon. I think consensus is one of the worst looking kill teams out there.
Except for mine.
Yours aren't.
I still think the
base.
Drukhari I still think the Kabbalites look solid, but they're definitely showing their age more than most.
The base model for Hand of the Archon, like the stock
They're bad.
model for Hand of the Archon,
Yeah.
is not great.
What was the other one we just asked about? Dire Avengers, right?
Yeah,
They are younger. They're as old as my younger brother. They're 2006.
that's pretty old.
Yeah. Well, at least the nice thing about them is, I made my Dire Avengers out of Guardians, so
You also only take
nice upgrade.
You also only ever take 2 of those guys, so like,
Oh, Guardians are that new?
yes,
That
The Guardians were 9th edition.
that is crazy. They don't look it.
What are you talking about?
They
man?
look way
These
fucking better
Guardians
than the
are
other ones.
They
incredible.
look better than the other ones, but I still think they're like surprisingly static for elf models that came out less than 2 years ago.
They're pretty
They're
dynamic.
pretty
A lot of them are on like 1 foot.
They're pretty static, man. There's only 2 that are.
I
on
think
one
you're
foot.
looking at an old model, sir.
I'm looking at here. Is this not the Guardians on the box? Here, I'll put that in the chat and sending this to you now, Brandon. Is this not the 2019 release?
No.
No, that's the newer one that you sent, but no, those are like good. Actually, are those the new ones?
I'm
I
now
think those
going
are
to
the
the
new
Games
ones.
Workshop site because that looks like what's normally in the box.
Yeah,
I'm
those.
trying to pull up the Discord now.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
those look way better.
No,
Yeah.
that's
Again, this is.
that's the models that they sell right now, and
Yeah,
they look
those are way
okay.
better.
But let me go find the old ones.
I think you get a box of Guardians, and then you steal the Hand of the Archon upgrade sprue from
Yeah.
someone and make your Hand of the Archon.
Nah,
with
if
the
anything, I'd
Guardians.
probably use the Corsairs. I like the spikier bits.
Corsairs are really good too.
Yeah,
So.
Corsairs.
Corsairs are going to be difficult to get on the bases. They're a little bit.
Oh
bigger.
yeah, because they're all 28s.
Oh, and Hand of the Archons are
25s.
25s.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can still do it. I put my Terminator Captain on a 40 mil when he's supposed to go on a 50, and he fits fine.
I mean, a 40 to a 50. That's fair. Wow, that's shocking that the Guardians are that young to me. I thought they were way older.
No, they just came out last edition.
Yeah,
So.
that's wild.
You think the Guardians look bad, but you think aggressors look good.
No, I don't think they look bad. They like here's the easy build Guardians from 2009, and they look practically the same. This is not good for an audio medium.
Those are way worse.
They're like in the same pose.
No.
They're like the same pose.
No, those ones are basically those ones look like the
I don't know. Maybe it's the paint job and just not doing a great job for like revealing the intricacies of the kits. I don't know. Maybe I'd need to see them in person, but the images.
I can't believe you're shitting on the paint job of those Guardians. You know that the person who painted those listens to the podcast, right?
I'm not saying they did a bad paint job. I'm just saying it's not really good at like showing the highlights because it's all very monotone,
Yeah, we're gonna get a thumbs down on this one. Thanks, Connor.
I'm so sorry I shared my opinion on art and models. I know that I always have weird takes for you old heads.
Yeah, well, I mean, you like the aggressors, so we can't trust anything that you say about it.
Tyler likes the Centurions, okay?
No,
I like the Centurions.
I never said I like them. I just said they're better than the aggressors. But like the bar is low. It's like,
I do. For what it's worth, everyone agreed with me that there's no way Centurions look better than aggressors. I like the idea of Centurions, but they're very dopey looking, which is a shame.
So Brandon, back to actual kill team and not Connor's diluted idea of what looks good.
Yeah, how dare I have an opinion?
No, you can't have an opinion. This is a podcast. What's up for you after Worlds?
After Worlds, I'm really hoping to find out when the declassified happens, because if Blooded are going to get cycled out, I don't really want to be playing them and trying to earn my way with them and then betray them just before Worlds. I did that for Tacoma Open, and it felt 1 year with Colts, and it didn't feel great. And I think that if I'm doing well with the team, I should just stick with the team there. Post Worlds, I'm hoping to see if I can see about my availability to come down to your guys' White Elephant event going on December 7th in Kaiser, Oregon. I'm hoping to be able to go to that. I am pretty much getting drug to LVO, so I'll be going to LVO in January. Already have my tickets for that. And as well as a couple other tournaments going on while trying to run my local monthlies. So I got a lot going on in the hobby, and trying to paint in between and see what casual team I can play that I'm not just like, oh, here's the game in a nutshell. Something that I can have fun with people so that they feel like they're playing the game and have a chance and do it.
What's going on with the Patreon and your teaching and stuff?
I honestly haven't been doing a lot of teaching. With Worlds coming up and with how active I've got into the tournament scene, there hasn't been a lot of people pinging me for lessons. So feel free to hit me up if you guys have any questions or comments or concerns, want my take on a team. I feel like I'm insightful, and I don't charge. I just sort of, whatever you feel you garnered information from me, cool. But the Patreon's still going on. I've been releasing some bat reps specifically for patrons. It's Kiddo Crew Gaming at patreon.com. I'm Kiddo Crew pretty much everywhere, YouTube as well. And I'm still trying to keep up with it, but the edition's so new that it's sort of hard to tell exactly where everything is. I do have some thoughts and theories on it, but it's to just nail it down and be like, oh yeah, this is the definitive answer is next to impossible to do. And so we'll see how Worlds pans out to see if people's theories were right.
Are you going to bring back the 10 games series that you've been doing?
I am. That is something that's going to be firing up immediately after Worlds. I'm going to be playing Inquisition the next round. That is what got voted on before the new edition got announced. For those of you that think I'm going to hop onto the hotness, this was something that
He's
was
lying. We
that.
voted Kroot. He's rewriting history.
I already did Kroot.
He voted for it again to punish you. No, that's true. We voted Inquisition, and then they became OP as shit.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. I want to try to explore as many options as possible. So I don't know if I'm going to put a sort of restriction on like operative selection or auxiliary selection or something to not just be casterkin for 10 games. And that's also not really like part of the play style I usually enjoy. So we'll see how it goes. And as much as Inquisition has the power, I don't feel it's such a counter matchup into the S tier of teams that people can just be comfortable and not know what they're doing on the team. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to make that evident when I fumble around on them.
Connor, are we going to LVO?
I don't know yet. I need to find out if I can do that. I'd like to go. That'd be pretty fun.
I'm so tempted to go to LVO.
How much are tickets just for LVO?
I mean, I think LVO the tournament ticket, I don't know, $100.
$100, yeah.
Okay.
And then you got airfare and a room too.
I can just sleep on the couch. It's Vegas. There's plenty of those. I'll be fine.
That's true. So, well, Branden, good luck at the World Championships. We will we'll all be clamoring and on Discord for updates. So as much as you can, let us know. We'll be digging into BCP. We'll also for your Kiddo Crew Gaming, we'll have in the show notes links to the Patreon so people can sign up for that. Also your YouTube channel as well too.
Yeah, a lot of the videos on there is going to be outdated because none of them are second edition. I'm working on getting some bat reps ready for third edition. I don't really edit them. I sort of do them Austin Powers style. Those of you that watched bat reps in 2.0, Austin Powers sort of just did these raw TTS games that I'm trying to do as well.
Sorry, who?
The most Austin Powers is his screen name.
Okay, I was like, is an Austin Powers bat rep like a thing? Like, had I missed out on this amazing funny bit? Okay, thank you for clarification.
No.
It's Shagadelic.
I mean, I would love to see us do a battle report talking and in character as Austin Powers.
No.
Can't you just watch any one of the like British battle reports? Isn't that it?
It's not the same. They don't have the outfit though, Chuck. The outfit makes so much of it, you know?
I don't know. I've seen some of those guys. Do you remember Chris Fitz? Did you ever see him? He was basically Austin Powers, right?
Yeah, that's how I describe him, 1-to-1 Austin Powers. At least the sex appeal of him. So
we miss you, Chris. Hopefully you're doing good over there in jolly old England.
Yeah, he's getting ready to run his first little league there, so to get his scene kicked off. So good luck to you, Chris. I need to read over your little packet that you posted.
Yeah, I told him to unlock it so we could read it. So hopefully he's done that. But I think by the time I posted that, he was probably asleep. So, Tyler, anything going on in the world of Dice Thrower?
I got some dead stock on my shirts, and then I'm shipping out all the nerd shirts. Getting to those started this weekend, so the first round of those have gone out, and people should be seeing them pretty soon.
Nice. And Connor, at Spanaway at everywhere, post some random pictures on the at Voxcadia Instagram.
I think I have also a little bit of a spoiler, even though we're not even close. We're getting close to the new year. I think I have a dumb idea I'm going to try and do next year for New Year's resolution.
Okay, what is it?
I think I'm going to try and read the entire Horus Heresy series because I've been having fun.
That is dumb.
Yep, it is.
What?
Yeah. I think I'm going to try and do a book a week because I was kind of doing like rough math in my head. The first like 40-ish are all like 300 to 400 chapters or pages, and I can get through that in about a week. And I think it would be a dumb and fun thing, like every 4 weeks, Connor do a book report on the last one you read.
I need you to look up how many books are in that
There
series.
are 63, so it would take me until 2025.
Are you gonna do all of them, including like the little anthologies? Or are we skipping the anthologies?
I didn't account for the anthologies. I just looked up like on the Wikipedia page, just like how many books.
There's so many books
So
in the Horus Heresy that like
I would.
So what I what I want you to do is after this, I want you to look up the Horus Heresy timeline.
Yeah.
Okay, someone did like a breakdown of like all the books of the Horus Heresy and how the timeline works and fits, and then count how many books that is because I'm guaranteed it's over 63. And like, if you really want to do this, you have to read like a book every 3 days.
I have to read a book a week, which I already do at this point.
You know how many weeks are in a year, right?
Yeah, 52.
Okay.
I know how to count, Chuck.
Apparently, because you said that there's 63 books and you read one a week.
Yeah, and that's why I said
weeks.
it would take me till a little into 2025.
Yeah,
That's
you
not,
mean
that's not the year.
2026?
I'm not trying to do it all in 1 year because that would be impossible because the Siege of Terra one's
2025. 2025 is in like 2 months. You
Sorry,
have to start now.
I'd be done by February 2026. There are 64 books in the Horus Heresy series in terms of like numbered and going off the Horus Heresy and then the Siege of Terra one.
You realize by the time you get there, it's going to be up to like 67, right?
They're done.
No, they're coming. I think they're coming out with more.
No, the Siege of Terra is over. So they're probably going to do, maybe they might have like one or two more, but technically what people are thinking is they're going to it's the Horus Heresy is now over because Horus is dead. Technically it is now the Scouring.
Wait, Horus dies?
Spoiler alert, I know.
Oh, spoilers!
Jesus, Connor.
Sorry. Anyways, yes, this is okay. So looking at it, a couple of these books are listed as short story compilations. So I could probably cut out like 10, which drops it down to 54 roughly. I'd have to do the full math of it, but
see,
the question is why? Why would you want to read all of the Horus?
Because he's young and dumb.
Because I'm young and dumb, and even though not every single one of them is a winner, of all the ones I've read, they've all been solidly enjoyable. And as I'm building more Mechanicum stuff, I'm realizing there's a lot of cool shit in the Horus Heresy, and I'm being kind of somewhat attracted to it. As we are facing possibly our own like weird end of democracy, why not read something that's somewhat fitting? Sorry to get a little...
Hey, Chuck. You know who else dies during the Horus Heresy?
Who?
Sanguinius.
Fuck you.
Yeah, but he goes out like a champ, and he saves...
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He goes out...
No, he doesn't.
Sorry, before that, though, he's an absolute champ. That dude was like...
Yes.
Yeah, he's the beast.
And then Chaos said, bitch, sit down.
Yeah, well, Chaos got his ass whooped, and, everything ends out good, right? By 40k? Gilliman comes back and they save the day.
That was 10,000 years later.
Like, the reason that everything's all fucked up is because they didn't let Horus win. Horus was right.
No, that's crazy talk. But almost as crazy talk as me thinking this is a good idea.
No, I think we should. I honestly think we should do this. And I'm actually going to, maybe by next week, probably not by next week, but by the time 2025 starts, I will think of a prize that I will put up personally for you to read the entire Horus.
Well, see, the reason this even came to mind is because I've been reading, the Mechanicum book, and I was like, I've read like 5. I could kind of do it. And then I saw a video of a guy who read every single Halo novel, and there's probably even more of those than there are Horus Heresy books. And they, like, the lore of Halo gets so stupid and retconny, like, every 30 books that it sounded like a nightmare. And I was like, why not enjoy my own descent into madness?
You know what's even better than the Halo books? The Halo TV show. No, I really like that.
That's okay to be wrong.
At least I don't like aggressors.
Yeah, I was going to say, you guys are okay with me, even if I like aggressors. So I can be okay with you, even if you like the...
I don't know if we're okay.
You've invited me over to your house, Chuck. That's at least okay.
Tyler made me.
No.
Tyler said, he's part of the podcast. You have to bring him over.
I'm sick. You got to be a little nice to me.
I mean, I did say those words, but not about Connor.
That's fair. Oh. That's fair.
36 Halo books. So, like, not even as many as there are Horus Heresy. So, you got twice as many to do.
I'm dumb. Most of these are in 300-something pages. I can read that in a week.
Clipping that one and making it a sound drop.
But why?
Why not?
there's a whole bunch of other good books.
You're not wrong.
He's already wifed up. He's got a government job. He's kind of done for life.
Yeah,
He might as well
I
do
just gotta
something.
kill time until retirement if that ever comes around.
He's going to do this on the clock.
I mean, yeah,
That's fair. Will you stop hitting the fucking mic?
that was me putting my drink down on like the left side of my desk, like 3 feet away. That got picked up.
Like aggressively?
No, like I gently placed it.
Like you're just like,
No,
yeah, that's you. That's you. That's what you sound like.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was it.
Anyways, thanks for joining us, Brandon. Good luck at Worlds.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, folks.
Fucking kill him, man.
Okay.
When you represent for the Northwest and you come back and you've dominated and you've shown the world who's boss, there's going to be one person
Oh boy.
in Bremerton.
Oh boy.
It's going to be ready to just give you a big hug and say, "Way to go, son." And there'll be a warm bed waiting as well.
Why is he saying son?
Oh.
Doesn't even make sense.
I don't know. There's a warm bed though, right?
No,
No?
not anymore.
The
Ever
door's
since I
closed?
learned there was that meaning, no, there's been not one.
By the way, December 7th, like Brandon said, we have our White Elephant tournament. We're about half sold out now.
Yay!
Tyler and I are joining. Connor's gonna play, and Brandon's gonna try and make it down. So you can play against a world championship opponent. I'm just putting it on the
Emily's
calendar
gonna be
right now,
there too,
Brandon.
probably.
Yeah, I mean, sure, Emily will be there. So we'll have
Guys, right.
2 players from the world championship.
Yeah, should be a good time. Come down, get some gifts, have fun. So just a nice social event.
It's sincerely a lot of fun. We did it last year. It was a blast. Everyone's being silly and wonky, and it was such a good time with such good people.
What do you, Tyler? You bringing Hand of the Archon? Because I have not figured out what I want to bring. Because part of me wants to bring like
Best friends with
Kasserkin.
Hand of the Archon right now.
What's that?
I said I'm best friends with Hands of the Archon right now. I'm not playing anything else until they get nerfed or something else new comes out that's even cooler. Although Tank Busters are looking really cool because I do love orcs. So
I think I'm going to. I can't decide because I kind of want to bring Kasserkin so they can lose a bunch so they can get a buff. I kind of want to bring Blades of Cain too, though.
Speaking of the new Orcs team, I already have like my knob picked out. I got Ulfthak Blackhawk, and I've seen him fit on a 40 mil base. So assuming the Crusher crew comes on 40 mil bases, I'm going to be rocking him as my knob.
It'd be kind of wild if they came on like 50s and you had 5 elites or whatever on 50s. And that's a step up between 40s, right?
Yeah, those are so unwieldy too. Like, oh my, like everything. 40s are already rough to get around, as you know, Connor can definitely attest to right now.
Ayo.
But like 50s, like it becomes a hassle.
Yeah. Well, thank you again, gentlemen. Brandon, good luck. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Do well,
Thanks,
Pops.
yeah,
Gonna try.
good luck, man. I got money on you, so you better not lose it.
Was
I
it
fucking believe
We
it.
can get sponsored
Poly
by
Market or
sports
something?
books.
Yeah,
be
Poly
Vegas
Market.
somewhere, right?
Oh,
Vegas.
absolutely. That's where we do all of our sports betting at. Polymarket.com.
We need to
Funny
get
enough.
Unofficial
sponsored.
sponsor.
No, we need to get an
Funny-
official sponsor.
The unofficial sponsor for right now, we're giving you guys this one for free. We're reaching out after this one. We're getting the World Championships on Polymarket, and we're betting on it.
I'm young and
I
dumb and
really
influenceable.
would-
I'll gamble and make other young and dumb people gamble.
One of my coworkers actually asked me if they did sports gambling and stream the event, and I was like, "No, like you don't."
I mean, we have verifiable results. You know, like this is prime for sports betting. Like, we've already seen the power of it, so we're gonna let the market decide.
Tyler, can we start like a Discord, like a Worlds pool?
I mean, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not running an illegal gambling ring. So
I mean, it's basically like a March Madness bracket, right?
Except
I mean, I guess I don't
play.
That's true. You can't play. So, I mean, you get to go play. So we're the ones who have to sit here and, give. our hard-earned cash to probably Connor to win the entire thing. He's not going to win anything else this year, but so maybe he'd win that. I think he just fell asleep. He's gone. Good night, everybody.
Good night. I'm gonna be honest. I definitely kind of spaced out there. I took some pills halfway through this, and they're starting to kick in.
Oh, good job, Tyler. What'd you take halfway through this?
I mean, nothing this time. Just some Arizona tea, all natural.
Oh yeah, that's the good shit though.
I took it just
green
before
tea,
this.
ginseng, and honey.
That's my other goal. Is I want a drink named after me, like Arnold Palmer. It probably Diet Dr. Pepper related somehow, but
That's like the most millennial thing I've heard in a long time. Right there next to, I want Morgan Freeman to read my obituary. Like, fucking hey.
I mean, with AI, you probably could get Morgan Freeman to read you obituary. Connor, what would your drink be? It'd be Diet Dr. Pepper and ice, because you don't drink booze.
Wait, it's a warm Dr. Pepper.
Oh no, that's awful. I'm not gonna do Diet Dr. Pepper.
That's how
like
you
that.
Diet Dr. Pepper with like a chaser insulin.
Insulin tastes terrible. I tried it one time just to see what it would taste like. It's awful. It tastes like rubbing alcohol.
I feel like it would just be a variance of like flavored hot chocolate because you want to have like a warm aspect.
No, I don't. I actually hate warm drinks.
But you love warm beds.
There we go. Just cut it there. Or not cut.